When you want to file a green card application for someone overseas, you want to bring your spouse here or your mother or father, it's sort of a three-step process. The first process involves filing application and paperwork with the Immigration Service here in the United States. We gather all the documents, we gather all the information after you've filled out our checklist, and we put it all together in a nice organized package the way that Immigration Service likes to receive the documents, and it'll include all your forms, all the supporting documentation. After about 2 weeks, we get a receipt notice back, and we then have case numbers, which allows us to track the case's processing through the Immigration Service. Sometimes they'll send us what's called a request for evidence, which means that they're asking for additional information, additional documents in support of the application. We gather that all up to them and get it back to them as quickly as we can. Once the Immigration Service approves the application, it's sent to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. And the National Visa Center at that point asks for all the original documents. At that point, they want to see the original birth certificates, the original marriage certificates, passport photos, all those kinds of documents. That's sort of when the rubber meets the road and they really sort of scrutinize the application carefully. And at the National Visa Center is also when we file the affidavit of support, and it's also when we file the police reports from the person overseas demonstrating that they're a person of good moral character. Once you get yourself out of the National Visa Center, the application is sent to the embassy overseas, and the embassy, according to their schedule, schedules it for an interview. Typically, the overseas spouse goes to the interview alone. Sometimes the U.S. citizen will go back home and go to the interview as well. That's sort of rare, and it's sort of unnecessary, but a lot of times the interview goes ahead with the spouse. If an issue arises, the embassy contacts us directly, and typically after an interview, the visa gets approved and the person receives their visa to come to the United States within a couple of weeks. After they arrive, about 2 weeks later, assuming that their address has been up to date with the Immigration Service, the green card arrives in the mail and the person receives a 2-year green card.